And the hero of the month this month at Alternate Reality is IDW's Infestation event, which covers 4 universes: Star Trek, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Ghostbusters. And all of my trade paperbacks for all 4 of those universes are 25% off all month long. All my hardcovers, all my softcovers, all my omnibuses, everything related to those 4 universes is 25% off all month long. So stop on down to the store and take a zombie-sized bite out of some savings here at Alternate Reality.
Dan Street reviews more comics here on the Video Outhouse.
You want to be president?
Yes,
Put your hand on the book and say, I do.
I do.
Fine, done. Let's eat.
What should I read on the can? Dan knows. Sweet Dan Sweet reviews Amazing Spider-Man 654.1 and Ultimate Avengers versus New Ultimates #1.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my Video Outhouse. It's time for Daniel.
Sweet dog with Sweet Dan Sweet and Comic Book Man, coming to you from Comic Book Man's Video Outhouse, beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality Incorporated. All new comics are 15% off all day for everybody.
What the hell you need me for?
I don't need you at all. Get out of here. I want that chair.
I don't care for your tone.
I want that chair.
And Dan is here to review two comics this week. What are they? What's your theme?
Well,
Death of, Rebirth of, Spider-Man-like characters.
There's a mouthful for
I
you.
just came up with that.
There's a mouthful for you.
That was an
Yes.
extemporaneous piece.
His theme is the death of, rebirth of,
Spider-Man-like
Spider-Man,
characters.
because one is Amazing Spider-Man, number 654.1. And of course the other one is
Ultimate.
Death of Spider-Man.
Avengers versus New Ultimates,
Yeah.
falling under the Death of Spider-Man.
Falling under Death of Spider-Man. It's part of the Death of Spider-Man event. Anyway, could this get more unwieldy in
See,
the Ultimate
this
Universe?
is what I want to talk about.
I
have a battle plan up
the
here.
Spidey thing, you got a 0.1. Amazing Spidey, you got a 0.1. And over in the Ultimates thing, it's like, I don't know what the hell it is. Throw a bunch of crap in a bowl and throw it out, and that's what it is. So anyway, we've got, like I said, Spidey and Death of Spidey and Avengers versus New Ultimates. What do you want to start with?
We're going to start with Avengers versus New Ultimates under the Death of Ultimate Spider-Man banner. Is it the Death of Spider-Man? Death of Ultimate Spider-Man?
Well, it's Death of Ultimate Spider-Man.
I stumbled
Not
there.
616, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Right, but Death of Spider... No, it says
So they're
Ultimate.
calling it Death of Spider-Man.
I don't know about this.
Okay, what don't you know?
Okay.
Well, if you
This
don't know, I
is
don't know.
the...
It's your review show.
This is the 4th 6-part Ultimate Avengers story by Mark Millar.
I stopped keeping track. I don't know why Marvel
fourth.
just doesn't make a goddamn series out of it.
So anyway, Mark Millar is writing this story where the Avengers fight the New Ultimates, which is the worst name for a team ever in the world. New Ultimates. Anyway, somehow this gets tied in with the Death of Spider-Man stuff that Bendis has going on in his story.
Okay.
There's only one page in this panel.
In this book.
One page with a lot of panels from this book that seems to have anything to do with the prologue to the Death of Spider-Man that I just read in conjunction with this.
Okay.
And it's Iron Man being brought to the hospital.
Yeah.
At the end of the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man,
He's visiting someone?
he's teaching Peter Parker how to be a hero.
Oh, okay.
Iron Man is.
Okay.
When Mysterio shows up and blows them both to holy hell. All right.
There you go. That's what Mysterio does.
But in this, Iron Man just has a brain tumor. And it's not really referenced the Mysterio thing.
It's not a tumor.
is not a tumor. So anyway, somebody is stealing super soldiers.
Okay.
Right, the Tony Stark thing, I'll get back to that.
Okay.
Somebody's stealing super soldiers.
Okay.
This irritates Captain America. As everything seems to irritate this iteration of Captain
He's
America.
very cranky in the Ultimate Universe.
Grouchy bastard.
Yeah.
So anyway, him and Thor and some other guys go and they stop a train by laying Thor's hammer on the track and flipping the train over and all sorts of stuff, right? Because there's no subtlety with these guys.
Put a penny on a track and see what happens.
It gets flattened. Trains are fine. Put Thor's hammer on the track.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't move.
And if you're not Thor, you can't move it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Tony Stark.
Yes.
Back to Iron Man.
He still has a brain. He still has a brain.
Still has a
tumor.
brain tumor. He's in the hospital. There's some touching stuff here. They're trying to induct Black Widow and the new Giant Man Scott Lang into the New Ultimates.
New Ultimates.
New Ultimates.
Which is the worst title for a team you've ever heard.
Worst title for a team I've ever heard.
Okay.
Anyway, again, nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Okay.
Whatsoever. I have no idea why that's even branded on the cover. And then we go back to Captain America, who we find comes into contact with the ultimate version of the Mimic,
Okay.
who is not an X-Men villain in this. He's a new government-made super soldier who has all the powers of the new Ultimates.
And he doesn't hang around very long either.
No. So, before he dies or whatever...
Spoiler.
Oh, right. Before somebody dies or whatever...
Wasn't the Mimic.
Wasn't the Mimic guy. It wouldn't be him. That's not a character they wouldn't want to ash can immediately. Somebody warns them that there's Nick Fury's behind it all.
Okay.
Which, you saw coming. The cover gives it away that the two teams are going to fight. What it doesn't do is tie into the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, even in the slightest.
Okay. Skip the death of the Ultimate Spider-Man
No,
part.
you can't.
The story itself, for what you see in it, because you said it was only one page.
Yeah.
It seems to tie in. How's the rest of the story?
It's Mark Millar not being nearly as interesting or nearly as exciting as he was on the original 2 volumes of the Ultimates.
Yeah.
It is him realizing that nobody is going to be able to touch that stuff that he did, that the Ultimate Universe peaked very early in that regard, and now he's just trying to not sort of solidify these characters, but just use them in fun ways.
Okay.
It's almost like, this is and I love Mark Millar, so don't get me wrong. It's almost as if he says, you know what would be cool?
What would be cool?
I want to see Thor's hammer flip a train over. I gotta think of a reason to do that.
Oh, there you go.
So I write
Tail
a little
wagging the
story.
dog.
I write a little story about that. I want to see Juggernaut ride a horse into battle against a bunch of, Aborigines. I'll find some reason to do that. You know what I mean? The fact that these are all 6-issue series that he keeps writing and not one continuous story, even though they carry certain themes throughout them, is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it annoys the hell out of me just ordering the thing and racking it.
You know what I mean? It's just a pain in the ass. So I was on the fence about this one. I'm not feeling it that much. I didn't like the last series.
How's the art?
It's Lionel Yu. Lionel Yu is a badass artist.
Yeah.
And he always has been. And he always will be. He gets to draw a lot of emotion, a lot of facial features. There's not a lot going on in this issue other than the train flipping over, which I've talked about 4 times already.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of other stuff.
Okay.
Because even the Mimic thing is just one big conversation.
Meanwhile, your second book,
A Rebirth of Sorts.
Rebirth of Sorts, Amazing Spider-Man number 654.1.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Spider-Man 654.
No, because
this
that's
is
a different
654.1. This is a different book.
I really liked how Marvel has dressed up annuals as jumping on points.
Annual specials, fill-in books, recaps.
Now it's a part of the regular series. You gotta buy it.
You bet you're right. Well, they got rid of annuals. They got rid of
See?
it. Marvel made an announcement early in the year that they were getting rid of the annuals. They're not doing annuals this year. Well, how do you pay, the artists and the writers? You have contracted to do annuals. You do .1 books. You don't call them annuals, you call them .1s.
Shoehorn them into the regular continuity.
They're jumping on points.
And it's, it's Humberto Ramos and Dan Slott writing about Flash Thompson as Venom. Now, this is something they've been building up toward as they managed to separate the Venom symbiote from Matt Gargan the Scorpion, and then contain it, and they're trying to figure out ways to utilize it as a weapon to give people powers, but focus them. So you get to wear the Venom suit 20 times. Maybe 22. I can't remember.
They have it down to a number?
Once you've worn the Venom suit 22 times, you become contaminated and the suit will bond with you and stuff like that. Yeah.
It seemed to happen to Peter right away.
Well, sure, but no, but the Venom symbiote has never bonded with anybody as strongly as it had with Peter. Even when it bonded with Eddie Brock, it was still fascinated by Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, the whole love, sex, weird thing.
You know what I mean? It was narcissism and all sorts of weird
It was
stuff.
weird.
So Flash Thompson, when he is in the Venom suit, gets his legs back. He's running around. He's doing all sorts of weird stuff. The Venom symbiote can turn his finger into a syringe, and he can deliver drugs.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's exciting for what it is. I'm more stoked for the actual Venom series by Rick Remender and Tony Moore. Tony Moore is a much better artist than Humberto Ramos, in my opinion. Rick Remender doesn't seem so tied to old school ideas as Dan Slott is. Dan Slott is a great writer. I've loved his Spider-Man. I loved his Avengers stuff.
Yeah.
But he's very much a Marvel traditionalist.
Right.
He has these ideas that are very old school in fashion, and his execution is very new school in its excitement and the energy level he brings to the stories. Rick Remender is off the wall insane with a lot of his stories. This is the guy that turned, Punisher into Frankenstein and made it work.
Right.
So to hear what he wants to do with Venom seems like an interesting idea. To see him with the combination of Tony Moore, I'm really stoked for that. This, as far as an annual goes, Spider-Man's not even in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Spider-Man's really not in this book.
you couldn't just call it Venom.
This is a Flash Thompson story for the most part, and I'll tell you, you handle the reviews here. I read the thing. I thought it was dumb as a box of rocks. I really did. I'm reading this thing, and Venom. As much as you might like the concept of, and I don't mean you, I mean everybody.
Right.
Much as you might like the concept of the symbiote, and it bonds with the human host,
Right.
and gives that host powers and abilities, and they're able to go out
Superpowers.
and do stuff, and all this swell stuff. There's the other aspect of Venom, which was brought in with Eddie Brock, which they sort of had with Peter. It whacks your brain out, and I guess makes everybody evil and crazy
That's
and
still in
ultra
this.
violent and ultra stupid. And Flash Thompson is now ultra stupid and ultra violent, and he's got legs.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
He's got legs.
They're working on it, and it's interesting because whereas Eddie Brock had a fascination with Peter Parker because he was pissed off at him.
Yeah, he's friends.
Flash Thompson has always been fascinated by Spider-Man because he looks up to him.
Right.
So there's still a little bit of that, but yeah, you get the crazy, hungry man eating Venom in this for about a panel and a half. But
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes. I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I didn't love it. I didn't love either of these, but I didn't hate either of these.
And if you want to read his full reviews of these books, go to the store's website.
Who wouldn't?
And the store's website is at...
You want me to give you the website? I'll give you the website. www.marlsonetreality.com. What's the big deal?
So stop off at the store's website, check out Dan's full reviews of both of these books, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
This is Sweet Dan.
Saying, bye.
Bye.
Alternate Reality is located at 3149 West 111th Street. That's the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in Chicago, the beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood neighborhood. You can always reach us at 773-881-HERO or at the store's website, www.myalternatereality.com.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.